But I also imagined the lightsaber having like almost like a thrusting effect. Like, you're holding something, but like the blade is like basically like a jet thruster. It's like pushing down, it's like pushing away from you.
That's really cool.
That's why I don't imagine a non-force user, like, holding a lightsaber.
He turns it on and it just shoots out of his hand, leaving like the inside of his palm seared.
Oh no, please no.
I also do like with the vision of that, if it's strong enough to push out of its hand after it falls on the floor, it's just gonna go.
like a hose that you just drop on the ground, just goes.
Oh no. Hello there. You found the lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legend from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will be joined in an episodic discussion of media from the Star Wars universe. We will be your guides. Tim, he likes Spy Kids.
Hey, guys.
I'm Kyle. Ask me about Resident Evil. Scott, you can ask him about Destiny.
Eyes up, Guardian.
And if you're interested, ask Stuart about his spreadsheets.
Oh, yeah. I was going to be like, what are you coming up with for me? And I was like, spreadsheets? Oh, yes.
Alright. We will be covering material up to and including Chapter 18 of Heir to the Empire. Scott, what happened so far?
Okay. Grand Admiral Thrawn is leading the Imperial remnants from the shadows in a grand plan to destroy the New Republic and re-establish the Galactic Empire. Luke Skywalker was on his way to meet Joruus C'Baoth, whom Luke believes will be able to help him rebuild the Jedi Order. However, the Jedi Master is actually a Dark Jedi clone in league with the Grand Admiral. Luke is ambushed by Thrawn en route, but in the escape his X-Wing fails, leaving him stranded in deep space. Despondent, he enters a Jedi hibernation, delegating R2 to perform the tedious repairs to the subspace radio so that they might hail much-needed help. Leia Organa Solo and Chewbacca head to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, seeking sanctuary. Leia spots a conspicuous alien face, which she recognizes as one of the assailants from Bimmissari. The Wookiees are ready to defend her, but are unable to verify her sighting. Undeterred, they are vigilant for any sign of treachery. Han and Lando venture solo to both act as decoy for Leia's whereabouts and in the hope of making contact with the aloof smuggling lord Talon Karrde. Karrde has shown time and time again to seek value beyond credits and has taken on a new apprentice, Mara Jade. He is keen to uncover her mysterious past, along with what value may be mined from such knowledge. All right, Tim, what happened in Chapter 18?
We start with Luke being roused by R2 from his Jedi hibernation as an unfamiliar ship approaches. The ship identifies itself as the Wild Card. Stranded in deep space with no alternatives, they accept passage to an undisclosed location. Luke is taken to meet the ship's captain, Talon Karrde. Karrde is unimpressed with Luke's appearance and directs his attention to the cockpit, where Luke senses the bitter, black hatred within Mara Jade. Luke is unable to explain her contempt for him, nor provide any other information that Karrde deems valuable. Suddenly, Karrde rewards Luke's lack of caution with a stun bolt, succeeding where Thrawn's Nogri had failed in capturing the last of the Jedi.
So, first off, very short chapter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it, but very short.
Nice and punchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, Talon Karrde is something, the Wild Card is something that I would name my ship if I was named Karrde in Star Wars.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the gambling pun, too. I love it.
And he has a reason to be here.
Yeah.
Yay! Finally, yay!
He's here.
We're not observing.
They're not either.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting that Luke was so distracted by Mara Jade's presence that he was giving off that he couldn't sense the danger from Karrde.
Yeah. He's a very sly one, that one. Luke got played so hard.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the reason why he can't sense, well, anybody, I guess, but they're not using the Ismari too, are they?
I wondered if there was one on the ship.
I kind of thought so, but I'm wondering if maybe.
Scott.
What? Oh, damn it! Did I just get spoiled or something?
Scott. Reel it back. So what I I think we did get evidence that there was Ysalamari on board, because Luke was like projecting himself towards the back of the ship, and there was like nothing there. He couldn't sense anything there, and he was like, "Oh, this is a little bit strange," but like there was no droids, there's no sentience. So I'm taking that there was like some sort of vacuum of the Force in the ship created by some Ysalamari.
Yeah, that was my impression too. Especially since, I mean, he was parlaying with the Empire. So perhaps there was a trade in there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Kept a few on board.
Yeah, why not? Got a force negating lizard? Yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah. Particularly, do you think he's met or knows about C'Baoth?
No.
Ooh.
I would say no, but it's
don't
really
know.
interesting to think about the possibility of him knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his intel seems pretty good. He knew who Luke was.
Yeah, he seems to know a lot about people that he probably shouldn't know about.
I mean, he knew about Thrawn as well, so...
Right.
And nobody's supposed to know about him.
But I feel like C'Baoth's the kind of guy who would be really reluctant to socialize with anyone that he doesn't have to in this situation.
Yeah, but Wedge knew about him.
Oh, wait, he knew the original, not the clone.
Oh, that's true. Wait, yeah, he did know.
No, he knew the trap. He was like, they were disseminating information that there was a Jedi Master that had appeared on something. So like it's false information. He knows about false information because that's being leaked on purpose. But knowing that they are in league with the Empire is another thing entirely. So what I'm wondering is, does he know that Thrawn found C'Baoth?
I'm guessing no.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I really feel like Joruus is just like, all right, take me to my chambers, and that's it. And then sometimes he's in Thrawn's command deck, and that's it. I don't think he has any interest in appearing outside of those, because he is so focused on his goal of getting those Jedi children that, I mean, he seems pretty happy with his social circle back on Wayland, so he's probably not looking to expand it.
What do you think he is doing in his free time?
Meditating.
Exercising those abs.
Yeah.
Crunches.
Yeah.
Squats.
He's doing squats and crunches, and
That's his one hobby, is crunches.
yeah, and planks. Don't forget planks.
Yeah.
Crunches and planks.
He is just planking the entire time when they're not meeting.
That's just like his normal resting posture. Is just a plank.
C'Baoth is a natural quadruped.
He seems like one of those people who would use gravity boots.
Wait, what are gravity boots?
Like
Do one of
hang
those
from the
back.
ceiling.
Oh,
You like hang from the ceiling.
okay. And apparently don't send a squad of Nogri to do a card's job. He seemed to...
Right.
To be fair, though, it seems like that was the safest thing for Card and his crew anyway, because, like, to him, Luke's a wild card, and it's much easier to transport the merchandise if he's unconscious, even if he is willing to take him to the location that they didn't tell him about, which I'm guessing is supposed to be the first planet, not Wayland, but the other one, his homeworld, the one where they got the Ysalamari from the first place. Merkur, yeah. So I suspect that they're going back to Merkur, but
What do you think Card's overall like knowledge and impression of Jedi are? Like, what do you think his knowledge and intel told him about Jedi in general? That they're something to be reckoned with? Like, is that the reason why he maybe tased him, or as a precaution because he thinks Luke could be a liability? Or
I would think so, yeah. Yeah.
But just the less time he's awake, the less questions he asks, the less he can do. Just makes it easier for them.
That's one thing. But you know what? It also occurs to me that he is one of those Japanese fighting fish that is okay to sit in the cage by themselves. But Mara Jade is also a Japanese fighting fish, and he doesn't want her blowing up on the ship.
That's a good analogy.
Because he said that he knows that she is has some bitterness towards him. And
Right.
what really good description I felt was that Jade's hate was compared to the Emperor's hate. It wasn't compared to Vader. So either...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard like the fan theory that Vader was like reluctant or something, which makes him not as powerful as what his true capacity was when he was facing Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But certainly this confirms that like Vader didn't seem to have the same kind of hatred within him that the Emperor certainly had.
No, he definitely does not. Yeah.
And so Jade being compared to the Emperor, I felt was like a little bit of a shocking image when I had to double take that one.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that didn't occur to me at first. But no, that is a really strong point of comparison.
So maybe he doesn't want whatever, because he said that she hides it really well, but it took him a few months to figure out that there was something there. And that hatred that's there, maybe that's why he's also stunning Luke. One, he can't ask any questions. He doesn't get a lot of information while they're transporting him. And two, him and Mara Jade are volatile next to each other. So he wants that in a controlled location, not
right.
His ship in the middle of space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the chapter, she started off being kind of like, nice and cordial to him.
Oh, yeah. On the comms.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hit it very well.
Yeah.
She did seem pretty cold, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, Carl?
I said, I wonder what the beef is. I mean, like, Luke hasn't done much in the galaxy. I wonder, did Darth Vader do something, and that's why? I don't know. It's not common knowledge at this point that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
No.
Yeah, I guess
Is it possible that she knows?
You mean like a sins of the father type thing? Like she was crossed by Vader, and
right.
So she now hates the prodigal son?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that. That's very cool.
Because, like I said, I mean, what besides be on Tatooine and then go destroy Darth Vader? What he hasn't done much.
I mean, either she's an Imperial zealot,
which doesn't seem like I don't get that from her.
Maybe she knew someone on one of the Death Stars. Maybe someone close. Yeah.
I had friends on the Death Star.
Yeah.
Well, that's a solid point. I feel like a lot of people knew a lot of people on the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would have worlds upset with you over that.
Right.
I guess it's possible that she could be a no one. But it is also in the second chapter or something, like, how many is that there? 16 chapters ago, when we first introduced to her, that her pain points or whatever that Card has been sourcing out for the last 6 months or a year or something, is that pre-Endor Empire was something that she felt very strongly about. She felt very favorably towards the Emperor, and I can't remember now if Vader was also a good, in her good graces or bad graces, because you got me thinking now about that. Maybe she figured out that it was father and son, but she definitely hates Luke. I mean, that's clear from this chapter as well.
Well, I got spoiled with that. Who knows? I don't know.
You heard nothing. You heard nothing.
Your Jedi powers don't work here. Only money.
You know nothing. You heard nothing.
I mean, we all agree that it was basically her and Luke's vision on Dagobah, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I still want to say that the possibility is Leia as well. She is the only other confirmed Force sensitive in this book.
I think that would have been such a cool twist.
That would have, yeah. So I just started thinking, like, what information can we glean from that vision? Like, what is the Force trying to tell Luke that we could use to interpret Mara Jade?
That she is disarming.
That was my first thought, too.
Yeah. She takes his lightsaber. Because the lightsaber doesn't respond to him, it flies off into her hands. So
yeah,
but I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about this part of it? It's the same chapter, so I don't want to
Yeah, talk about the same chapter.
talk too far. But
What? That's the next chapter, bro.
God damn it.
The chapter ends when he falls unconscious.
you heard nothing. You heard nothing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. I did not even realize that was the next chapter. I'm so sorry. I did not even realize that was the next chapter.
Oh man, 2 strikes away from giving Scott a permaban on discussing Mara Jade. Yeah, it does make me wonder, because his lightsaber is like right out in the open on his belt, right? He's not even trying to hide it.
You know, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, so I mean, my first instinct is always to interpret Force stuff metaphorically, but I'm curious to see if something literal happens there.
Well, he
Right,
did the same
right.
thing when in chapter 2, when they went to the planet and they're like, no weapons here. He kept it on them because he assumed they didn't know what it was.
Oh, because
Yeah.
it's ceremonial.
But that's a diplomatic mission. This is like, you could be in danger, dude.
Yeah. To show that you're a Jedi. Or,
Yeah.
you know, even being the last of the Jedi, you're very publicly known. So,
Right.
you know, don't have your, you know, your sergeant tag or your medals of honor on your flight suit as you're coming into this
Yeah.
unknown spaceship.
Right?
Well, apparently he doesn't because he's private citizen Luke now.
Yeah. That was a nice addition.
I did like that quite a bit, yeah.
Although he's also Space Pope, so is
Right.
Space Pope a private citizen or
Is the Space Pope reptilian?
I did like in the book one of the quotes when he was talking about he's got here yeah he's got he's so surprised that Card knows who he is, and he says, like, with another smile, that with a lightsaber attached to your belt, come on, you're either Luke Skywalker, Jedi, or someone with a taste for antiques and insufferably high opinion of his own swordsmanship.
Yeah. It was a good line.
I think that was a little dig at maybe some fans out there that I don't know.
God.
Timothy Zahn, have you ever met anybody with an insufferably high opinion of their swordsmanship?
Maybe. But I don't think the lightsaber replica hobby was as big back then.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no,
the first
probably not.
official ones I know of were from a company called Icons in like 1996 or 98, before Master Replicas got the license. Yeah, because Icons could not keep up with production.
Oh, just like volume?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they overpromised and underdelivered.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. If you ever find one, like it's a pretty cool find, a pretty cool get for your collection.
Ooh, that's something that I didn't even know about, Tim.
I learned about it recently because I went to an exhibit recently here in Atlanta, where it was just a collection of fans' collectibles that they put together as a museum.
Oh.
And the entire lightsaber collection was extremely disappointing, full of really basic products and stuff, whatever, except for that one. And at first I thought it was a Master Replicas, but then I learned that there was a company doing it before Master Replicas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got to see one.
Interesting.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got any pictures?
Yes, I do. I got pictures of it. Yeah,
All right. We'll link that in the notes.
we will. Yeah.
And our
that's-
Instagram. Go check out our Instagram for anything visual that we mention on the podcast.
Yes,
Hell
we love
yeah.
Instagram. We love it.
And then that reminds me, there's in one of the earlier Legends comics, there's a mercenary who finds like a dead Jedi, and he takes up the lightsaber. And I am drawing a blank on the guy's name, but he's basically just a good swordsman. He doesn't have any force abilities or anything, but he uses a lightsaber.
Oh, maybe it was a reference to that.
Oh, it could be.
I'm kind
would
of
be cool.
wondering, but
This is probably published before that, though.
I think it was. I really, yeah.
I would like to see more of that in Star Wars. Non-Force users using lightsabers as main weapons.
Like poorly or
His name's Dark Admiral, and he has a really cool lightsaber that I'm hoping to build a replica of sometime.
Please do.
Oh, cool.
Yes, Tim, I think you'll really like it because it's a thin neck.
Oh yeah, I love those.
It's kind of reminiscent of the Luke style thin neck, and it's even got a green blade.
Oh yeah, that does look really cool.
I'm a blue
on
boy.
the Wikipedia page. It looks down the bottom. I do like that. That looks cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. Oh, that would be so impractical for a replica, though.
I know. I don't know how I would do the thin neck like that, but it would be a really cool design.
Have to really take some artistic license. Or you could do the cool thing and go just static replica prop.
Yeah, I could.
Electronics are overrated.
The main antagonist in that comic series has a curved red hilt. That is also really cool that I would love to make, but I don't have a good photo of that. And he shows up later on in a Vader series where Dr. Aphra, one of the series is with Dr. Aphra.
He got recanonized?
Oh, I don't know if it's canon. Maybe it is canon.
Yeah, I think I'm looking
if it's
at
in Dr. Aphra, it's canon.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 Legends appearances. Maybe it's a different character.
Yeah, you might be thinking of a different character, Scott.
Maybe I am. I thought it was him. Maybe it is somebody else. Maybe it's somebody.
Because I do remember seeing a similar character while perusing through Wikipedia. Yeah, someone that like Luke was fighting who had a green lightsaber, and I think was wearing some stormtrooper armor or something.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. No, this was a different story arc.
Gotcha. Still cool though.
Yeah.
No.
I like the idea of a non-force user using a lightsaber, but only with limited ability.
We need more.
Yeah.
I mean, would you want the lightsaber to be very difficult to wield? Like, would it be
kind of like
a forced user is using a rapier, but when put in the hands of a normie, it would be like swinging a claymore?
Yeah, kind of like how Din Djarin with the Darksaber, he's having trouble using the Darksaber, but, that's also, the Darksaber's kind of just working against him because Darksaber's the Darksaber, but...
I mean, going on current canon interpretation based on episodes of Rebels, and on actually info that Mandalorian corroborated as well. So it seems like both Force and non-Force users, the blade feels heavier to them when they're like going through emotional turmoil or they're not like connected with it. So it seems like that connection can be made for both because in Rebels, Sabine Wren came to use the Darksaber quite well, and even Ezra's lightsaber.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's less a matter of it's more difficult and more a matter of the Jedi can just do it a lot better, like to superhuman levels because of the Force.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I also imagined the lightsaber having almost like a thrusting effect, like a jet thruster. I always kind of imagined a lightsaber having like a, or what do you call it?
I see. Yeah, there's a lot of force in it as you're wielding it.
Yeah, gyroscopic, you mean?
Gyroscopic.
In a way, gyroscopic, but also you're holding something, but like the blade is like basically like a jet thruster. It's like pushing down, it's like pushing away from you. That's kind of how I imagined
really cool.
That's how I imagined a non-force user, holding a lightsaber.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns it on and just shoots out of his hand, leaving like the inside of his palm seared. Oh
no, please no.
I also do like with the vision of that, if it's long enough to push out of its hand after it falls on the floor, it's just gonna go.
like a hose that you just drop on the ground, just goes.
Oh no! There's like a serious issue at work. Most of the machines run on air pressure, and every so often the tube will come loose. So you just have a tiny whip going.
Oof,
oh man, what did you guys think of the Force cylinder?
Weird way to talk about lightsabers.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, the Force cylinder was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I too think that it was a bad name, but it was an interesting way to say that, like, we're going to project some air down to you so you don't need to suit up.
Yeah, no, really, really cool concept. It was cool to see a spacewalk mentioned in Star Wars. For me, it's the first time, at least. I can't recall a spacewalk. Actually, no, KOTOR and KOTOR 2. Never mind. But
Yeah.
But this isn't like walking on the outside of a space station. This is like actual astronaut, you know?
Yeah.
In Star Wars, yeah.
Particularly like that 0G of like you push off and you're just going to keep going for light years if there's nothing there to stop you.
Yeah.
And that image that he said of like, well, if they do want to dispose of him, it would be pretty convenient to just like turn off the air and he just suffocates in them.
Right.
In the space between the two spaceships. And I was like, oh, that's pretty brutal to...
He had emergency supplies just in case, too.
Right. Yeah,
Which to me does confirm you can survive in space for a little bit in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think a really talented Force user could just like pull the oxygen molecules like from elsewhere with the Force and just like, you know, breathe?
Oh, yeah, like Legend of Korra type something.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool.
I know. That's highly advanced airbending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's highly advanced Jedi using, like Jedi Force bending too.
Yeah, it would have to be even more advanced because with airbending, I mean, you're focused on that particular element. With Jedi manipulating air, you are using another force to manipulate that element. So
that's not intrinsically linked to that substance, right? Yeah. I could imagine that, like, there would be Jedi techniques that you just don't need to breathe for very long. You could use it to sustain you in the vacuum, just because you are not breathing for that time.
Isn't that kind of what Leia used in The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe.
Probably. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon definitely used it in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
With the what is it, dioxin gas or something?
Yeah, the dioxin gas and the opening.
Yeah. And they're like holding their breath or whatever, right?
That scene is so fun.
Yeah.
One other thing is that we get Luke is like, oh, R2 and I are grateful that you found us here, and Kai's like, oh, who's R2? And realize that he's talking about his droid, and it's like, yes, your astromech. And it just goes to show how, like, the rest of the galaxy overlooks droids. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you could probably draw a line of like categories of people who are more genial towards the droids, and people who just see them as, you know, non-sentients, like
tools or something.
Yeah, tools or whatever.
Droid rights.
Droid rights.
They are people. Yeah, no, I did like that. And especially, like, he doesn't say R2-D2, the full designation. He says, like, the nickname.
Yeah, he abbreviates it like it's his friend. Yeah.
Maybe that's also, like, played into it as well.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of getting that hint by Card. He's dismissing him, like wait, who's R2 again? Oh yeah, like he knew full well it was his droid, but he was like, oh right, it's your droid.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
Did he?
Interesting.
Is R2 famous? Is 3PO famous?
I doubt it. I think that we joked before about them, that Thrawn knows who they are because he's looking at the details in the back of the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I imagine that they are in all the pictures, but nobody's seeing them.
Thrawn's the one that notices, the only one.
Oh, yeah, because he's such an art aficionado.
Do you think Thrawn values droids the same way he values people, which would thereby be more value than droids typically get?
Yeah, actually, yes. I think he values other sentients less than most other people, but droids more than most other people, so they're about equal.
Yes. In Thrawn's eyes, everyone is equal.
Everyone is equally expendable.
They're equally beneath him. You're right. They're equally beneath. Yeah.
Equally expendable.
You guys get much off this chapter?
I did, actually, but
another chapter that makes you real excited for the next chapter, but we'll see where it takes us.
My bad.
Yeah.
Well, I guess some of us know where it takes us, but whatever.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I thought it was interesting how Mara went from like 0 to 60, like in just a couple of lines.
Yeah, she did. She did. That's a really good point. I didn't think of it that way.
What did she do?
How she just like started like just getting really angry with Luke.
It's
Or was
not
that
what
next
she
chapter
did.
again?
It's what she is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Luke's impression of her.
Right.
And thereby
okay.
our reader impression of her went from 0 to 60 very, very quickly.
Right, yeah. Although, does that make you feel like, because Luke is a little bit unaware, because he got caught unawares, that like also him being surprised that he had to like scrutinize what he was feeling from the cockpit, but he's a little bit, I don't know, inattentive?
Maybe. I mean, he did just come out of hibernation, to be fair.
Maybe.
I think he actually mentions that messing it with him a bit at one point.
Right, yeah.
Right, because he was having trouble seeing on the ship.
Right, okay.
With the low light, and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I can still see. It's harder, but I can tell there's no people here. I'm safe."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not quite there.
Okay.
He's like you when you're woken up in the middle of a REM cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
I did think the banter in this chapter was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Card seems. I want more dialogue from Card. He's.
I want more everything from Card.
Yeah. Right.
We've only gotten slivers from him so far. And...
Right, and one of those slivers was nothing. One of those slivers was a piece of lettuce, piece of celery.
What about you, Kyle? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited to see more Card. I just want. I don't know what I want. I'm just excited to get more information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm really excited for the next chapter, so I really want to get there.
This has been the Lost Holocron. You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how you can support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we'll be waiting for you in the next transmission. We will be honored if you would join us.